Hello there, everybody. Welcome to War Room. Uh, you got me, the old doc. James will not be here for this War Room. We're going to change it up just a little bit. We were discussing matters. So, in our ongoing series of what we think needs to be done, mind you, we are not professionals. We've just been in the business for a while. We don't believe anybody is truly a professional at this. Um, we've covered items that we think that you should be leading up to a good investigation. So we've had research, preparation, and setup. This one, we are going to go a little bit back to basics. Um, Starting out on a budget. So this episode 4 is going to be about starting out on a budget. How can you do this hobby on a budget? You do not need all the gizmos. You do not need 4, 5, 6 cases of stuff as you get going. Yes, they're bright, they're colorful, they're everything else. Um, when I started 30 years ago, I had 3 things that I always kept with me, and those were the first 3 items I had, and I had very successful investigations with those 3 things. Those would be an EMF meter, a recorder of some kind, and a notebook. So you've got your basic meter. You've got green all the way up to red. Why is this a good thing? Because you could easily ask yes, no questions. It's real easy. Um, you'll basically just set that down. You'll set it up. Then you'll start asking questions. You can easily say, are you a boy? Are you a girl? And then you'll give a light, take it to red, take it to yellow. Um, they're not too terribly expensive either. They are actually pretty inexpensive. So, like on Amazon, you can basically pull these things. So, this model here runs at $13.99. Basic. You don't need all the bells and whistles to do this as a hobby. If you're trying to help somebody, then yes, all the gear comes in handy. If you're just doing it because you're interested in the paranormal, you want to go to a place, you want to do your own personal private investigation, which, by the way, is perfectly allowed. You don't have to be in this hobby, this business, this pastime to always assist somebody. It could simply be because of your curiosity that you can sit down, you can take these items, you can go out, and you can do a very good investigation with bare minimum equipment. Now, we already covered you don't need fancy camcorders. You don't. You're just somebody that wants to go out, you know a place, you want to do some investigating, it interests you, you want to study it. You can do this on your own. You don't need 1,000 books. You don't need all the equipment. Get yourself a meter. Like I said, Amazon, $13.99. Get yourself a digital recorder. They start about $14 and they go up. They don't have to be fancy, just a digital recorder. That way you can just do an EVP work. So between the millimeter, oh yeah, and by the way, notebooks. So you can write everything down, log everything for videos, phones. They do the best thing. Now, you're filming in the dark, take a flashlight, set up a flashlight, set up a lantern, light up the room a little bit. It does not have to be dark. It really does not. You don't need a fancy night vision. You can do a quality investigation with a flashlight. It's not going to hurt anything. You need to be able to see, like we said before, your safety matters first and foremost. Now, easy things you can do with just these three things: notebook, EMF meter, and your digital recorder. Easy. You can go into a room, you can sit down, you can put your EMF meter on the floor, because the detector strip is right through here, and on this model, I believe it's on this side here too, in the front. So just want to set that down, step away from it. You just start asking questions. Yes, no. Take out your notebook. Start writing down the questions that, if you've already thought of them, or as you're thinking of them in that spot, start writing down those questions. Write down the responses, yes and no, what you get. This is going to help you. You want to make sure, you don't need all the paperwork. Let's be honest. All the paperwork and all the other stuff that, you see, you can do this real easy. So you'll set down the REM pot that you're at, EMF meter, and you're asking the yes/no questions. Are you a boy? Go to red. Are you a girl? Go to red. Don't be scared to ask questions, but know that you're going to need a yes/no answer with that. You're going to do fine. Trust me. You don't need. Really, you don't need spirit boxes. They're nice. They come in handy. Do they always work? No. But this will give you those yes/nos. And James is here to save my bacon. All right, so we're talking about starting out on a budget.
Sorry about that. You hear me all right?
It's all right. All right, so we're talking about starting out on a budget.
Sorry about that.
We got a bad echo. Chaos already. So anyway, I was saying 3 pieces of equipment that you can get for this thing.
Hang on. I gotta do the usual routine here. How we doing?
We're doing good. I said that to start out on a budget.
Yeah, the K2.
Go with the K2, which retails for $13.99 on Amazon. Notebook.
Notebook, absolutely. You can get that at Dollar Tree.
Dollar Tree. Digital recorder.
Digital, yeah.
Which on Amazon,
you can get anywhere from like $9.99 on up.
Yep, Amazon does have them. You can start out at a really good one, like this one, for $25.99. They start out even lower.
Yeah, you can even go with something like this. I paid about $30, I think, for.
Yeah, here's one on digital recorder, 16 gigabyte voice recorder with playback for lectures, $17.98. So you could really do this on a budget.
Absolutely.
And I was saying the best thing to do would be to go in, sit down, definitely have a flashlight.
Oh, yeah.
And you can use the K2 for a yes/no answer.
Absolutely.
So you don't need the spirit boxes, the portal boxes, all the other boxes. You just need basically 3 things. That's what I started out with when I started 30 years ago. I had 3 pieces of equipment, but mine was a cassette recorder. My EMF meter had numbers on it, didn't have no colorful lights, but no backlight to it. So, if you were sitting in the dark, you had to have a flashlight on just to read it. And then a notebook. Easy peasy.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same with me. So, yeah. Oh, except I did have 4 things, actually. I had dowsing rods.
Dowsing rods are also a very inexpensive thing.
Yeah.
I looked that up on.
Yeah, I don't know what mine cost because the wife got them for me for her birthday or something like that.
Yeah, Amazon has dowsing rods, $14.99,
See,
99.9% copper dowsing rods, 2 pieces.
nice.
So, but I would say, you could start out with dowsing rods. You could
Hmm.
start out with, but I would say the big two would be, well, the big three would be your notebook,
The
your EMF
K2,
meter, and your digital recorder.
absolutely.
Because I mean, that's kind of what you would want. So you would get in, set down your EMF meter in a room, ask those yes no questions, try to get it up to red. Can you take this color to yellow for a yes? Can you take it to a yellow for a no? Uh, and I mean, you could do so much with just these 3 pieces of equipment. Because I know one of our viewers, Julie, um, she was saying that she was kind of on a budget. So we wanted to backtrack the progress of investigation and do a special one of starting out on a budget. Things that work, are not very expensive, and you will still get um,
A good result.
you'll get results.
You only probably did this one because you knew I probably wouldn't make it, huh?
Yeah, I know you were. There was a possibility, so I was like, I'm going to go start out on a budget, and we're just going to work with that one.
That's all right.
All right. Next best piece of equipment, the digital recorder. Again, you set it down in the middle of the room, you ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're going to go and do listen to it back, you can listen to it on your computer. There are a lot of free apps out there that will analyze the sounds, so it'll show up on a bar graph on your screen.
Yeah. The question is whichever one works best for you, though.
Yes, it's whatever works best for you, but there are a lot of free ones out there that you can hook up, plug it in, put it on, or say you don't have a computer, you can listen back to it. Amplify the sound, and you're going to want to listen. Also, with your notebook, this is where you're going to journal everything. Uh, Now, when we do our investigations, we've got body cams and all the other crap.
Mm-hmm.
But when I started, there were no body cameras.
Nope.
Our camcorders were the ones that fit on your shoulder. They were giant. Um, so we relied heavily on our notebooks, that you're recording everything there. With the digital recorder, you want to timestamp it. So you'll walk into the room, say, we're doing an investigation right now. Me and James, we're doing this on a budget. We've got the EMF meters, our notebooks, and our digital recorders. We'll walk in the room, we'll set it down. This is James and Doc. We are at the Witch's Castle in Portland. It is 9:39 at night. The weather
Set
is yada, yada, yada.
whatever
Just want to
date.
make the
Yeah.
date. And there are X amount of people here. Sometimes it's nice to have all the people in the room go around and say, hi, this is so and so. Hi, this is so and so. Now, I've always enjoyed having that done because of the fact that now you've got everybody's voice sample on your digital recorder.
Yeah.
So if you're going back and you're listening to the playback, and we've gone around the room, we've all introduced ourselves, we've asked the question, could you tell us what your name is? Say we get, okay, everybody's voice is on this that's in the room. So now we can go and go, okay, well, we've got a voice. Does it sound like anybody else in the room? Now we're talking from experience here that we were doing a digital recording, doing an EVP work in the old courthouse. And I think you might remember this one. We went around the room. We introduced all of ourselves. I think there was 4 of us in there. And We were attempting to talk to the woman who still resides in the old bank area of City Hall. Well, one of the ladies happened to have snuck in, and one of our guys said a joke, and she chuckled. But she wasn't in the immediate. She was not in the immediate room. She was off to one side.
Uh-huh.
We did not see her. Well, I didn't see that she had entered the room.
No, I don't. Yeah, neither did I.
Yeah. But when we went back and listened to the playback, we heard a woman laughing. And we all got excited
Mm-hmm.
until that person said, "Oh, yeah, that was me." So in that situation, you want to make sure your room is sealed at that point. Basically, you don't have to close doors, you don't have to tape anything off. Easy way to do it is you announce to your group, your other people, your buddy, unless of course you're doing it alone. There's nothing wrong with doing EVP work by yourself, but you just let everybody know, I'm going to do EVP in this room in this work, and don't come in unless you announce yourself. So you want to tag anything. You move, you sneeze,
You hit something.
you hit something. You're sitting on the floor. You move. Your back's a little stiff. You've been there for a while, and you move, and a floorboard creaks. Well, when you listen back to that, a day or two or three, however long it takes you to get back to that audio recording, unless you tag it, you're going to forget it.
Right.
You drop the battery, whatnot. The minute you start dropping things and you're not tagging it, you can look back on that and forget about it. Which brings back our notebook. Like I said, you don't need the stack of paperwork and all the other crap and body cameras. I mean, body cameras are nice. Don't get me wrong. Body cameras are nice. They just record everything for you pretty much. But they can be expensive. Like the King Man said, dollar store.
Yeah.
Just go to the dollar store. Get notebooks. It could be a small notebook. It could be a big notebook. It could be a leather-bound notebook. It doesn't matter what kind of notebook it is. Got your pen, got your notebook. Make notes on everything. You can't afford cameras. You can't afford body cameras. No shame in that. No shame in not having all the gizmos. You don't have the giant REM pods. No shame in it. All you can afford is two things. Not even $20.
Mm-hmm.
Not even $20. That's all you need, really. That's really it. And you can do a great investigation with very minimal gear. Plus, it all sits in your pocket. They're small, they're compact, fit in pockets. You take your research, at your preparation and your setup, easy. Make sure it's charged, fresh batteries. Your notebook's in your pocket. Your pen's got ink. There's your setup on a budget. You don't need all the fancy doodads.
No. They
are nice, but they're fancy. Take it all the way back to the basics. I mean, let's look at the Warrens a little bit. When they would go into a case, they basically had a giant reel-to-reel recorder, camera, and they made a lot of notes. So they didn't even have all the extra crap. So, and they've got well over 1,000 cases they've done.
Right.
But I mean, what's your 2 cents on a budget?
Well, my 2 cents pretty much is the same as your what you got on budget. I mean, if you wanted to go and take it a step farther and get, a mini handheld camera, you can get those still pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Um, you
Well,
can get,
again, you can use your phone.
you can use your phone.
You can use. Oh, by
I,
the way,
I
phone
don't,
apps.
I normally don't use my phone for video, but I do use an app or two on there for during investigations. Let's see. Um, if you're going into a case, that maybe there's children, you can get like little cat balls, that light up. They're about $5 on
Yeah,
Amazon,
about
I think.
$5 for like
A 4-pack or
a
2-pack or
4-pack. Yeah.
something like that. So it's a little something added just as a little fun thing if you know that there's an entity, a young entity, a child or something like that there, you know. Um, yeah, I mean, like I said, my audio recorder, since I've got like 2, 3 different kinds of audio recorders. This one here is the cheapest of them. I think I paid like $30 for it. Um, the K2. Oh, I take that back. Let's see. I got this one here. This is another digital recorder. Um, $20, I think it was on that one. But
Yeah.
they all range.
Well,
Um,
let let's take it to the other level there. You can only afford. You go to the Dollar Tree, you get your notebook. We're always going to emphasize notebook, notebook, book, notebook.
Absolutely.
Make notes, 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 notes. You want these notes for later. Um, let's say out of the two, you can only afford one.
Oh, it's an audio recorder all the way.
Well, the thing is,
For me,
you can download audio recorders for your phone that are totally free. There is
yeah.
one called Recording Amplifier on Google Play Store, where it actually does amplify any sound that it's recorded, and it does a really good job at recording the outside noise and everything.
Okay, what was
So,
that one again?
um, I believe it is Audio Amplifier.
Huh, okay. Yeah, like I
But I
said,
mean,
I only use a couple apps on for with my phone during investigations, so I I know that there is audio recorders and stuff like that for the phones, but yeah, I
well, I mean, it doesn't need, you can have your phone on airplane mode, and you just pull up that app, and it's just a recorder.
mhm.
There's no fancy doodads. It just records and amplifies what you got going on. It's basically one of these in an app form for students. That's all it basically is. Which basically, that's all these are really used for. They're just they're not just paranormal. They're college kids take them, use them because my nieces, in their college classes, they were using these things to take to your class, and you set it down and record your class while you're
Right.
making your notes. And that way, later on, you can go back and you can listen to it and go, oh, I didn't get that note. You know, easy peasy. Jamie Logan, how do you know the apps really work? I'm sure there are some that aren't legit. Phone apps for ghost hunting, I think, is actually going to be episode 6 of War Room. I'm just discussing the apps that record the ambient sound outside. So it's just a records sound. It's not for ghosts. It's not for anything else. It's you just set it up, it'll record. Again, it's just like a digital recorder. Um, you go to a class and you've forgotten your digital recorder. Well, you can download the app and it'll just do the same thing. It's just going to record it. Some of them will amplify the sound a little bit, pick up more of it. It's a freebie app. It records. That's basically all you need. really on that one. Phone apps for ghost hunting. Yeah, like I said, well, that'll be episode 6. So we'll talk about some of the fancier gear in 5, REM pods, meters, SB11s, SB7s, etc., portal boxes. That all that will be in 5, and then we'll cover phone apps in 6, and then we'll get close to doing the investigation, wrapping up the investigation, and evidence review will end the War Room series unless we come up with something new.
Yes.
Stephen Thomas says, I do have a compass. Yes, compasses are also good.
Well, you can also use compass on your phone as well.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a lot of easy ways to do ghost hunting on a budget.
Absolutely.
But notes. Always make your notes.
That's the stressor right there, is always notes. Take notes. Have notebooks. Which I'm bad at.
Well, yeah. Well, we got body cameras, and we get a little. Yeah, Josh Logan says notepad. Yep. Always notepads. Dollar store.
Mm-hmm.
You can sometimes find a little bundle of miniature ones, like 10 to a package for like $1.25.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, but in the old days, that's Sydney says, "What's up, guys? We're discussing starting out on a budget and why you don't necessarily need all the toys." Sydney, of course, is guilty of having all the toys.
Yeah, she's working on something new now.
She likes toys. She likes all the ghost hunting toys that some. But I mean, if you're starting out on a budget, you can only afford one thing besides your notebooks. Get the meter. Easy. Yes, no questions. You know. And again, Signe says, "Awesome, man! You called me out." Well, Signe, we all started out on the budget end of this hobby. So,
well, seeing what you've been doing on Facebook lately, I had to. Sorry. I know you were on the hunt for some doll heads and stuff like that, so I'm sure you managed to find some.
Signe says, "I don't need anything that I have besides my recorder." Exactly. But my preference is, if you're starting out on a budget, get your digital recorder, get an EMF meter, and your notebook.
And a pen.
That's what I started out with. When I started out 30 years ago, I started out with those 3 things. I took those on cases with me for about my first 10 years. Now, my recorder was a cassette. It could not transfer to anything. So I couldn't do the full analysis. But I did get some great EVPs on those old cassettes. It was a little bit harder to go back and listen to. You couldn't just pull it up and just isolate, those little bits. But this is a good hobby. There's a lot of good people in this. You can get into it. It's good. It's good to get into, and you can do it on a budget and have fun. Have fun. I guess if we want to call that one of the items to have fun. Jamie says, look through your notes instead of listening to recordings. Oh, I feel that it is easier to look through your notes instead of listening to recordings. That too. Your recordings are basically there to log EVPs. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up the War Room. We got to get the studio ready for our next bit.
Yeah. And I got to go get my drink ready.
Because it's going to be a good show. So Thanks, everybody. Next week, episode 5, equipment. And then episode 6, those steps that we feel work and don't work. And then episode 7, the actual investigation. Episode 8, wrap up. Episode 9, I think, will be evidence review. And episode 10, will wrap up the whole thing, wrapping up your investigation.
Yeah.
And that will be the end of War Room, unless, like I said, we find something else new. So, thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week on the War Room.